Hi friends, we are going to talk while I do my hair. So I'm just straightening it. I don't really do much else. I don't know where to put you. So I am still reading The Raven Boys. Or rather, I'm reading Blue Lily Lily Blue, which is the third book in the Raven cycle. I have been watching everybody talking about Summerween, which I am not participating in, obviously, or I didn't participate in. And it's kind of gotten me in like a mystery thriller mood. I have like a bunch of books checked out from my library, which I'm gonna pop up right now. If you have read any of these books, and think that I should read one of them soon, let me know. I'm kind of like in a fantasy or mystery thriller mood. I know I picked up a Brandon Sanderson because I really want to read the Mistborn trilogy. My plan was to get through his whole thing before the end of 2021, but it's already July, and the Stormlight Archive series is freaking massive. So, and then I also just got some random like books that were available to me. I tend to do this where I will like just go, I have 3 library cards, and all for like my local libraries. If you didn't already know, you can literally go into Libby and request library cards from libraries in your area, and some of them will just give you like ebook, like e-cards, and you can use them on the Libby app. You don't actually have to like go into the branch. So that's what I did for 3 cards in my area, and so I'll just go on there and like I'll just look at what's available, and I'll sometimes if I'm feeling frisky I will check them out. Other times I just add them to like a huge list. But all that is to say that if any of those books that I showed seem interesting, or you have read, or you've heard good things about, let me know so that I can pick them up. But then I also got some things from Hoopla, which again is connected to my library. But I got The Rivalry by Nikki Sloan. I know I was talking about how I was in a mystery thriller and then I picked up a romance, but it is what it is. I'm not quite sure what this is. I think it's like a new adult or a new adult sports, something like that. But I really trust Nikki Sloan, so even though sports isn't super my thing, in romance or otherwise, I will give it a shot. I also got Local Woman Missing, which I have never heard anybody talk about, but it was available to me, so we are going to give it a shot. I think it's about a woman who has a kid, and then she gets like entrenched into this missing woman case. I hope it's not a detective case or a detective story, because reading from a detective's point of view is just so freaking boring in my opinion, and I tend to avoid those. So hopefully that's not what this one is. Also got Neon Gods by Katie Robert, which I'm fucking stoked about. Again, I trust Katie Robert like implicitly with my reading experience, so even though I'm not like super thrilled about a romance right now, I still know that I will enjoy myself reading that. This is like a Hades and Persephone, except I think it's like modern day. Hades owns like a club or something like that. So that sounds pretty good. It's got really nothing but 5 stars from everybody that I've seen talk about it. So I'm pretty stoked for how good it's going to be. And then I also got The Great Alone. I haven't read this author before. I might have read The Nightingale and I don't remember it, but this is a historical fiction, which isn't super my thing, but it sounds a little bit like it might have a thriller aspect to it. It's about this family that ends up getting, the dad is a veteran and he's a prisoner of war, and they end up getting stuck in their cabin in Alaska. They get snowed in or something like that. And maybe I'm thinking of a different book, but I think they end up getting cabin fever, and it goes from there. And it kind of sounds like they get stranded, and maybe the dad suffers from an episode and it goes kind of south. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure this is this book. And then the last book that I got was His and Hers. And I got recommended this book a couple months ago by someone on Instagram who saw that I was reading and not really enjoying 100% some Lisa Jewell books. And they recommended that I try that. And I don't quite know what it's about. I think it's some sort of like marriage story, which I'm iffy about. Domestic thrillers aren't like really interesting to me, but we're gonna give it a shot. I believe in that person's recommendations. I am really hoping to finish the Raven Boys series. Kind of first and foremost, if you watched last week's vlog, you'll know that's pretty much all I read, but I still want to read something else because I'm kind of in the mood for it. So we're gonna try to knock those out early in the week and then go from there. I'm gonna pop an audiobook in while I'm driving, and then we will talk when I'm through with something. Hi. Okay, so I am quite a bit further into, what is it called? Blue Lily Lily Blue. And I'm still really enjoying it. I think it's fantastic. It is definitely going to be a 4th star unless it just goes off the rails in some way. They just introduced another sleeper and they woke her up while she's been awake, and I'm super excited to see the role that she plays, and some Gainsey and Blue stuff is happening. Also, I started the audiobook for this. I'm not quite sure what it's called. I think it's The Leavers, something. I probably have the complete wrong thing. But it's a middle grade story about these kids who watch the news one day, and these kids get kidnapped, and the kids look exactly like them. They have the same name as them. And then their mom like up and disappears basically, and they have to stay with this random stranger. I'm like 50% of the way through, and it's really interesting. I don't know if it's like a fantasy, if it's like alternate realities. I don't know what it is, but it's basically playing with the idea of like people that look like you and living different lives. And so they don't know what's going on with their mom, but they see a woman that looks like their mom that is talking about losing her kids, like the ones that were kidnapped. And it's very weird, and I don't know what's going on, but I'm really liking it. So yeah, those are the updates. I haven't really done anything else. I haven't read anything else. I haven't finished anything. So we'll talk later. Hi, this is going to be a quick update because I really don't have much to say, but I finished this book, the middle grade book, and I ended up giving it 3 stars. It was good. It was very, very evidently a book, like the first book in a series. It was like a puzzle box that you were trying to figure out, but I didn't really feel like it made sense cohesively. Okay, thank you, Gotham. Cohesively, I felt like the answer to the puzzle was a little off. I might continue. I didn't dislike the listening experience, but it's definitely not on the top of my list. I've gotten a little bit further into the other thing, Blue Lily Lily Blue. I think I have like less than 100 pages left, and like I said, I'm still loving it. To be honest, I'm kind of feeling Mistborn, but I know that's something that I need to read physically as well as listening to an audiobook. Who knows? I might check out some of the other ones that I have for my library. Anyways, that's the update. Hi friends, it's Thursday. Don't know why the lighting is so bad. I am now into The Raven King. I don't think I updated you guys when I finished Blue Lily Lily Blue, but I ended up giving this 4 stars. I really, really liked this. I think that I have no idea what the heck is going on. There was so many different elements introduced at the end of this that I don't know what the fuck's going on. So that brings us to The Raven King, where I still have no idea what the heck is going on. I am 119 pages in, and I feel like I don't have enough pages for what needs to happen or all of the things that need to be wrapped up. So I'm a little concerned, to be honest. Basically, we now have a new villain, and Cabeswater is infected with something that I think might have to do with the new villain. Just a lot of stuff going on. This other group of people, 3 guys, have just been introduced that are, my ferrets are just destroying stuff, have been introduced that are kind of connected to the new villain, and it's just a whole lot, and I don't know how the heck this is gonna happen, but I'm enjoying it. Nothing really has happened between Gainsey and Blue, and we just had the argument with Adam and Blue about Gainsey and Blue. So I don't quite know like what all is going to happen, where we're gonna go and how we're gonna get there. I also started the audiobook for Local Woman Missing, and weird. Well, it's not weird, it's very dark right off the bat. We have spent the majority of the book, I'm not very far in, but we've spent the majority of it with a child who is a young girl, and she is locked in a cellar somewhere by people that have kidnapped her and kidnapped this other boy, and she's basically just describing like the conditions that they're living in, and it's very gruesome. They're being fed dog food, they don't have a place to go to the bathroom, they can't shower, all this other really gruesome and gory, gross details. So we'll see how that one goes. I'm not quite sure like the entire premise of it, obviously aside from the kidnapped kids. In the 2 weeks I was really hoping I would be done with the Raven Cycle series, but I don't know, like it's taken me 2 weeks to read 4 books, and that's just embarrassing for me. And yeah, I'm ready to move on at this point. I still want to read the Diviners 2 books, so at this point I just want to be done with this series. But I don't have that much left to go, and I am enjoying it. I'm just kind of tired of reading it and I want to move on. So that is that. We will talk a little bit later on when I've actually finished something, and I'm not doing anything this weekend, so hopefully I will get a lot knocked out. I need to go take care of these ferrets that are just like destroying everything I own, because that's what ferrets do. So, bye. Hi, let's talk while I make myself some food. So I finished the Raven King at work today. I gave it 4 stars. Honestly, it was a pretty big disappointment for the majority of the book, but then when we got to the ending, like the 70% mark, it got wild. I could understand people that would be disappointed. Like, the ending was a little disappointing, and it kind of felt a little bit like ended it knowing that she was going to try to continue the series elsewhere. A lot of stuff was left out, just kind of open, unresolved, that I think should have been resolved. And that I mean that nothing gets resolved. But I did get emotional. There was a certain part where I got a little bit emotional because my favorite character, something was happening with them, but it still was not good enough, I think. I ended up giving it 4 stars because like I liked it, and like the last 70% was giving me what I felt like I wanted for the whole thing. I wanted a accumulation of the plot and all of that to result in something spooky and something whimsical. And in this one, we get some inkling that there's something wrong with Cave's water, and that it's sick and infected. And so there's a demon that is trying to kill everything, basically trying to kill all of the magic. Ronan's powers are going crazy. Adam is dealing with some stuff. And so I was just hoping that we were going to get, like, I didn't ever feel like it went deep enough. Like, it didn't really focus on anything a lot. It would introduce an idea or a plot line, and then it would leave that plot line and go elsewhere. It never really, like, did anything or went deep enough into, like, the horror or the darkness or really even the magic that I was hoping for. And I definitely think that Blue Lily Blue is the best book in the series. I think was built very well, and then the last one just didn't really deliver with what I was hoping we would be getting. But overall, it was a pretty okay series. It got to a point where I had been with these characters for so long that I just was ready for it to be over. But I did start the audiobook for Local Woman Missing, which is a mystery thriller, and it's dual timeline and 3 perspectives. So you are in this town where, like, 12 years ago or something like that, this woman disappeared on a jog. And then, like, a year later, this woman and her daughter disappear, and there's, like, this huge hunt for them. And the hunt for the woman and her child is what you're seeing in the past timeline. And then in that timeline, you're getting the perspective of the mom, the woman that goes missing, and a neighbor. And then in the present, 12 years or 11 years later, you're getting the perspective of brother and son of the mom and the daughter that go missing, now that the daughter is back. And I will say the like first part where you are in the girl's, her name's Delilah, the daughter that goes missing, when you're in her head, it's very nauseating because you are being basically she's just describing, like, her living experience. I mentioned previously how she's basically just talking about how they don't feed her, she can't shower, she eats dog food. But then, you know, after that part, it just goes to, like, the missing investigation and like the bouncing back and forth. But, like, that part where she's describing how she's living is so nauseating, and I like was struggling to read it. The audiobook narrator for her part was fantastic. Like, it definitely enhanced the experience because her voice was very frayed and, like, upset and, like, always on the verge of tears. Like, the actress did a fantastic job with her part, her voice acting or whatever. So I'm really, really enjoying the story. Like, I just want to sit here and listen to it. And I don't know what the heck is going on because there's a lot of moving parts. Like, there is some weird, like, I feel like I can see the red herring coming from a mile away, but I'm not quite sure. Like, the mom, the woman that goes missing, her name is Meredith. She, like, in the past, it's being set up before she goes missing with her daughter, Delilah. And she's getting these weird text messages that are like, I know what you did, I hope you rot in hell, like, die. And then we are flashing forward to the present where the husband is, like, finding out things, like, she had quit her job or she had stopped taking shifts and, like, she was gonna cut her hours and all this other stuff that he didn't know about. So it's kind of just like, I think I can see where she's going to try to put a red herring in, and it's not, like, I'm not going to fall for it. But hopefully this just, like, blows me away. I'm still interested to see where it goes, and it has pretty great reviews. It has, like, over a 4.5 on Goodreads, and, like, 38,000 ratings, I think, or something like that. Satisfying that, like, thriller mood that I've been in. I need a physical book, so I think I'm going to jump into the Diviners so that I can read Layer of Dreams. I'm not as like fantasy driven as I am right now, or as I was, but I'm still pretty interested in reading it. But I'm gonna go back to making my food and listening to the audiobook. So, have a happy Friday, I guess. Hey friends, it is Sunday, and I can't even remember what I told you the last time we talked, but I ended up finishing the mystery thriller that I was reading, Local Women Missing, and I ended up giving it 3 stars. It was okay while I was listening to it, but the ending was very disappointing, and I think the ending made it so that a lot of the points of view were really unnecessary, and it was just kind of, it was one of those stories where it's like everyone sucks, like everybody in the book sucks, but the actual like mystery part was kind of left field, and they're not my favorite, so I didn't really like it. So 3 stars. I started like a minute, or the prologue, I got through the prologue of His and Hers. I'm not sure what this is about, but the audiobook is very weird. Like the narrator's voice is very interesting, and I think it's gonna help because Hello everyone, and welcome to round 3. Watching DVD League. Male narrator's voice is for like a serial killer, and it's perfect. I think it's gonna do great. But these 2 things are what I am trying to knock out next week, or at least get halfway through this, but definitely get through this and start Layer of Dreams. So in next week's vlog, that is what I will be reading. I don't even know how this vlog is going to be because I just haven't really been vlogging all that much. My reading has again kind of gone downhill a little bit because I just wanted to get through the Raven Cycle series, and it was just kind of making me not want to read. So yeah, that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you comment down below your thoughts on any of the books that I read. I would love to hear it, but other than that, I will catch you guys in my next one. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.